Welcome to How to Make a Ron Paul Truck Sign. Here's what it looks like when it's out driving around the road, and get a lot of attention when I'm driving around. I think it's a great way to get the message spread. So let's get started. Here's the tools you'll need. Up on the top you'll see 3 pressure-treated 2x4s. Get the pressure-treated variety so they'll hold up to the weather. One of them is a 10-foot 2x4 and the other 2 are 8-foot 2x4s. Below that you'll see some tools, an extension cord, that orange square, that's kind of optional. The blue tool there is a saber saw used to make the cuts, but just a handsaw will do. All we're doing is making just some square cuts on 2x4s. The gray is a drill, a cordless drill, very handy to have. And over in the blue-topped containers are decking screws. So get a bit that fits the cordless drill to drive the decking screws. And I've got 3 different sizes here. 1 inch, and then something like 2.5 and 3.5 inches. And that'll become apparent a little later on, why the different sizes. And then on top of the blue containers there is a Sharpie marker for marking the cuts we're going to make. So here's everything in the back of the pickup truck that we're going to need. So let's drop the tailgate and let's get started. The first thing to do is hold up the sign, and the goal here is to take a look, measure, and get a height that is about what would look good from traffic. For me it was about 41 inches tall, and that's how tall I'm going to make the vertical members. So I at this point marked one of the 8-foot 2x4s 41 inches and cut it, and then cut a second one just like it. And you can see me using the square there as a guide for the saw, so I make a nice square cut. Then I pull out the signs, and notice one of the signs now is on both of these vertical members, and I'm going to attach it using 1-inch decking screws. I put 3 on the front side and then 3 more evenly spaced on the back side, and that gets the left side finished. Now we're going to do the right side. So flip it over. You can see the back, and it's a 2-sided sign, but we're going to use the back side. We're going to put another sign layered over top of it. And again, 3 screws per side. There's the 3 on that side, and then 3 more on the other side. And that pretty much finishes off the sign itself. So here's what it looks like with me marking what I'm calling the longerons. And these turned out to be about 48 inches. I'm going to cut 2 of those from one of the other 8-foot 2x4s. So mark them and cut them, and then you can see me getting ready to install them here. So I used 2 of the 2.5-inch decking screws diagonally on each side, and that attached 1 of the longerons. And then I put the other longeron on and did the opposite diagonals and put 2 more of the 2.5-inch decking screws on each side. And here's pretty much what the sign looks like when it's almost complete. Here it is up in the back of the pickup bed, same deal. Now I need to measure side to side on both sides of the wheel well, and I'm measuring for the cross braces. In my truck it was about 56 inches, but that'll vary depending on the size of pickup truck you have. So on the 10-foot 2x4 I marked 56 inches or so, and then made a cut and repeated the process, so I had 2 of those. And then I left the sign in the back of the pickup truck and just installed the cross braces right there in the pickup truck. I used 2 of the 3.5-inch decking screws on the vertical member, and then 2 more on each of the 2 longerons. And then I flipped the sign back to front and repeated the process, so I used 12 screws total. Here's what it looks like in the pickup bed. You can see the cross braces going on both sides of the wheel wells, and you can also see the green cam straps that are used to hold it in place. Those just 4 straps going into the tie downs in the corners. You can also just toss some bags of sand in there to hold it down. That'll probably work pretty well as long as it doesn't bounce around and fall out. Here it is back in the truck, and as I drive around I get a lot of good stares from this. People are talking and looking and pointing, and here it is out and about, going to work, running errands, and here's kind of a all-around view. I think this is one of the best ways of getting the word out. The media is certainly not doing that job. They're doing everything they can to discredit, ignore, or dismiss Ron Paul, so it's up to us to get the word out to people. This doesn't really take the place of talking face-to-face and campaigning, but it's a way of, I think, legitimizing Ron Paul. If enough people see enough of these signs, they'll start to think and wonder why everyone is so crazy and willing to do this sort of thing to get the word out. And that might be a good way to get people interested enough to be receptive to the message. The signs are fairly inexpensive. You can buy a 3-pack of these 2-foot by 4-foot signs from www.ronpaul2008.com, and the lumber costs about $10.